Hi, and welcome to You in the Spotlight podcast. My name is Mihaela Vlad. I am your host. I am an advertising strategist for women who are building their business around their personal brand. And I have created this podcast because I want to bring in the spotlight other women entrepreneurs who are building their business around their personal brand and they have a story to tell. I want to hear their story. I want to share their story because in this way together we can find more inspiration and more tips on how to go one step further in our business. Also, in some episodes, I am going to share from my experience. I am going to share tips and strategies on how to get more reach and how to convert your followers on Facebook, so you can create a better strategy and you can get the most from the Facebook platform where you are building your business. Also, I want to invite you to go and join our Facebook group. It's the You in the Spotlight community. It's a free Facebook group where you can meet with the other guests and you will have more training and more tips on advertising strategies from me. So see you there. Hello, and thank you very much for being here and accepting my invitation.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here and to be with inspiring women entrepreneurs. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And I want to introduce to all of you today Dr. Vidhya. She help other people, other women to achieve mastery in health, wellness, and to be the best version of themselves. And I will let her to tell us more about the business that she have and about exactly how she can help us with. And then we can continue to discuss more about this.
Yes, definitely. I'd love to. So please do stop me if I go on because I'm just honestly so passionate about it. Sometimes I have to stop.
That's okay, as long as from each interview, my aim is to, get some advice for people who will listen to us and other women entrepreneurs who are building their business around their personal brand. And any advice that you can give us will be welcome.
Definitely, and for me to learn as well, because we all need to help each other, don't we?
Yes.
In this school of life. So basically, I am a medical doctor. I was born and raised in the UK. I won't make it this is my life, don't worry. I'm born and raised in the UK and went to medical school in UK, and I'm a GP, which if you're, because obviously this is a global audience, so that's like a consultant in family medicine or primary care, or we call it general practice here. And so I'm also a transformation life coach, specifically in the niche of personal growth. So some people use different terms, don't they? But some people call it self-development, I think is a more sort of traditional name. Mindset in particular is what I'm just absolutely fascinated by. So mindset, personal development, that's what I do. And the way to going into the actual business side of things, which is why I'm here. So I've been a doctor for like over 10 years now, 10 plus years. And I think the biggest thing I found was that a lot of the things that people really, really suffer with often comes down to their mindset. Now, I'm not saying it's completely because of their mindset, but I often found that, for example, something might have had some disease or diabetes or even cancer and just some very difficult things people have been through, or difficult situation, stressful situation, marriage breakup, etc. And I found that there were some patients who maybe came from, victims of war crimes from these war-torn countries, horrific things that they've been through. And there was something about them, something they'd learned with resilience and mindset, that they were able to come, and after a few weeks or months of the dust settling, they were able to just somehow, they were determined to not be in benefits, not criticizing if they were, but they're not on benefits or on the dole or it's called different things. And they somehow started a business, or something, or got a job. It doesn't matter how much it paid. And a year later, their life was completely different. You know, they just had this determination, you know. And I had some other patients who completely justified in how they were feeling given what they've been through or whatever that was happening for them. But it was very different energy. It was very much like, that's it. You know, I have no power. I'm a victim. And I'm, again, completely justified to think that with what they've been through. But it was very different energy. It was very much sort of like, therefore, the only solution in their mind was a pill or counselling, or if it was a different problem, surgery. It was very much like, I can't fix it. It's up to you.
It's outside. They couldn't find it inside them.
Exactly that. And I think what I found was, for a lot of patients, people, you know, for everyone, it was this feeling of this inner power, you know, inner power, intuition, confidence, self-image. It's called different things, but ultimately that feeling of, at what point did this person lose that feeling of inner power? Exactly. Even if it was just at 1%, you know. But, and why was it that this other person in a similar situation, I appreciate there are other factors and things, but roughly similar situations, and they were able to overcome it. Still very difficult, very challenging, but they were very determined, very, very different. And this was not just one or two people, this was whole cohorts of people I found this in. Found it really interesting, and I found that became more interested in mental health. So I'm a clinical director in mental health in the NHS, and again, the same thing. I found more people in the situation, and it's sort of almost like, although I do commissioning in mental health, I've begun to realise that it's, yes, we can redesign services and talk about funding and all of these sorts of things, but you know, Obamacare in the US, etc. But actually, I'm not denying the awful things people have been through. I'm not saying that. But I do think that at some point, we have to take responsibility.
I'm totally with you in this.
Yeah.
And that really, we have to take responsibility for our life, for our health. No matter how good would be a doctor, he's not going to be able to help you if you don't believe yourself, if you don't have the power in you, and you just are a victim. And I think it's a very good conversation. I'm very interested to have this conversation.
Yes. I think we need to have it more. I think actually society, I think the global society is coming round to it now. You know, yes. I think we had this generation of very much like, you know, gratification. I want this now, and that translated into healthcare. You know, with healthcare, sort of, I want to, you know, see a patient with sore throat, and I would be, you know, I believe in holistic health as well as traditional conventional medicine, and I would be trying to convince them with, oh, you know, you can have some turmeric and ginger, and, you know, obviously that just would not work with some people. It's very much like, okay, that's great. So am I going to get antibiotics? And after my, you know, 10-minute consultation about, you know, mindfulness, and I think it's just sad that sometimes some people, some patients, anybody walk in with an agenda of, I just want my antibiotics. They've decided that's the only thing that will work. And it's almost like, I do believe, and there is evidence that shows that subconsciously, because you've now decided that that's the only thing that will work for you, it will be the only thing that will work. So even if the turmeric tea with ginger and manuka honey, you know, would have worked for you, it might take a couple of days longer.
Don't believe it. Yeah, if only antibiotics will work, it's going to be only antibiotics. Exactly. Because I think it's such a very, very important point here with the society. I think we are somehow pre-programmed in our subconscious, thinking that the solution is outside of us. Like a pill, like, you know, the doctor have to resolve it for us, but we don't have the responsibility, because this is the society that we are living. It's just, I'm sick, I'm going to the doctor and he will resolve this for me. I am having a problem with my money, I'm going to have to ask for them from the government, from wherever, you know. But we don't find that inner power to take the responsibility for our own health, for our own life.
Yeah,
I do believe this is an interesting conversation because I am very interested in this subject.
definitely. I completely agree with you. I think it's a bit like, the protests that we've seen about the minimum wage, abroad and that sort of thing. And obviously, people are born into different situations and have different family setups, and I completely agree.
Yes.
And I've been very blessed and everything, so I'm not taking that away. But again, sometimes I feel like, why depend on anyone, even if it is the government? The government's change.
Exactly. At least we can have something, even if we can't do everything from ourselves, but at least I think with your work, trying to, work on a mindset and things like that, you can help people to have more power anyway.
Yes, definitely. It's all about harnessing your inner power and not ever giving that away. Even subconsciously, even sometimes it's just with the energy that you bring. You can tell sometimes, right? So say, we're at a party or something, and someone walks in, and you can tell by the energy when someone really walks in, and they're not arrogant, but they're just really confident, and they don't care if they're standing alone. They're doing their own thing, and they are happy right now where their life is. It doesn't matter what it is, and you know nothing about them. And there's somebody else who's very sort of low in energy and very kind of looking around like, oh, is anyone going to talk to me? Or I better just hold a drink just in case, because it looks like doing something. And it's very much exactly as you said, it's an external environmental influence. Whereas the other person, it's all about internal. They focus inwards. Not that they don't care about the external, but their focus of
Their power
is inside. Exactly, because that's all we can control is ourselves. Can't control your husband. Can't control. I tried. can't control children. Can't control. And that's life, and that's good. Everyone can control themselves if they decide that they can. If I've decided, no, only you can control me. I can't do this because I have to see what she thinks, because I don't know. Better not do it. Then they've decided that person's got the power. So with my work, it's very much around mindset. And what I find is that when you change your mindset, honestly, you really can achieve anything. Even the craziest things. With some of my patients and clients. For example, like, I'm not a sales or marketing expert or anything, but by changing their mindset, these really self-limiting beliefs that went really right down to their core of self-worth, when we're able to shift that around and get rid of those sort of gremlins in our head, they were able to go and sort of negotiate a salary of 5 or 10,000 more. And often this is the reason I like working with women in particular, because sometimes society, or when we're growing up, various influences have almost especially if I'm 35, so particularly I think in my age group and older, but it's very much molded into sort of it's okay to be negotiating the high, like, maybe I think now it's fine, but 10 years ago, it's very different environment. Whereas for a man, it's almost expected, to be a bit ballsy and borderline arrogant, and just sort of say, yeah, this is what I can do, and negotiate, and in any situation, not even just a salary, maybe a house mortgage or something.
Yeah.
And actually, I just think, what is the interesting, that why is that? That seems to be a global sort of thing. And it's not just about money, which I do think is important. I do think it can make your life better and easier, and it's not going to prevent all the things happening to you, but you could be crying in a Mercedes as opposed to a Corsa. But I do think that, so it's finance. I think it's also changed their relationships, because with a different mindset, they've just exuded a different, very positive, very different energy, again, because they are in control of their life, because they are controlling themselves.
They control mostly the attitude they have for things that they can't control. That's why it works in relationships. I apply this. I can't control what my husband does, but I can control what I think about that.
Exactly. And you can control how that is going to affect, whether it's good or bad, how that's going to affect your day, or
Mhm.
you know, other things that you're working on, or say if you have an argument with somebody, or disagreement, and you can really let that take over, and it's negative and everything's awful, and you know, because that person cut me, you know, in the traffic, and that's it, and I'm gonna have a bad day now. Or it's just, okay, that happened, and you're maybe annoyed for a couple of minutes, and then you just kind of carry it, rolls off you, because that is not the determining factor of, you know, your whole day. There's more to you than that, and you're able to control. And this the biggest thing is, I'm so glad that it's come across now, is emotional intelligence. You know, self-regulating our emotions, and we first have to be aware of like what, like, you know, biggest thing I knew about myself, certainly much better at it now, but a good few years ago, was being a real people pleaser.
Mhm.
You know, really being, you know, you want to be friends with everyone, you want to be nice, you want to sort of create good energy, but you can also do that and be assertive and have, you know, healthy boundaries.
Exactly.
And also sometimes it's healthy, and actually it's right to not be agreeing and allowing somebody to do, you know, to do everything. So actually being a people pleaser, you know, was something that I had to work on, was one of my self-limiting beliefs, my own personal gremlin, or things like being too sensitive, you know, like, oh, because that person said that, you know, now I'm feeling like this. Well, actually, no, I can change my feelings like that if I want to, if I decide. And again, you know, affirmations, manifestations, visualizations, like thankfully now there's a lot of research behind this as well, to prove and to show that these do work, because they are affirming. It's all about yourself, you know, it's all about yourself attracting those things, because it's all related to energy. And I know for some people it sounds a bit woo, you know, but actually it does work.
It does, and I totally agree with you. I've seen one of your videos just this morning, I think, where you said about consistency. It's about applying those affirmations and those rising your energy, but not just once. You have to do it daily.
Yes, and it's hard. I mean, this is exactly that. And thank you for watching my video.
I did watch it
I,
I like your videos, and I like to learn from people from other women entrepreneurs, and that's why I invited you to be here today, because I think we can all benefit from what you do and from your message. And it's so amazing to know someone that is a medical doctor, and I would like to ask you about this. You are a medical doctor, you are a GP, but in the same time you are an entrepreneur, which is not a usual situation. If you look around, maybe not even 1% from doctors, they will pursue an entrepreneurial journey. But you did that, and I will be very glad to know, how did you decide to come to this, to start?
Of course. So actually it was, you know, as I don't know, I know you've got a global audience. So as I'm sure you know, in England we have the NHS, which is our sort of public health service, and basically most doctors work in either that or they work privately. So basically there's a bit of a crisis for the NHS, I'm sure with most public healthcare systems, but we like to complain about it more. So there's we call it the NHS crisis, but unlike most crises, I think that's a plural, it's been going on for, you know, quite some time. My husband, a non-medic, was like, gosh, yeah, how long is this crisis going on for? So I was like, I don't know. Anyway, so with the NHS crisis, when I became a GP, I think I very much found that it's very it's almost like a bit of a virus, you know, like the system is stressed, everyone in the system is stressed, your colleagues are stressed, your patients are stressed, because society is stressed, and it's just sort of like, it's like this epidemic that we just can't seem to get out of. And I found that I was a GP partner, so consultant in primary care, and I got married in the same year as well. So it's very, very hectic, but very good year. Lots of good things happening. But what I found was I was coming home really late all the time. Just workload, results, you know, blood results. You can't leave it, right? If there's something goes wrong. Extra patients to be seen who don't have an appointment but are desperate, and A&E is on red alert, blocked off, all this stuff. So there's a lot of workload, a lot of burnout in the system. And I started coming home really late, and basically I had this, I was driving home one night, I remember this vividly. It was an October Monday night, making a right turn, and this car came. It's actually an Uber driver, but this car came and hit me at about 70 to 80 miles per hour. This was a normal 20, 32 mile per hour road, and it went right into me. And it was actually quite a horrific accident, but thankfully I was fine. Walked out. Well, actually, I had to crawl out. Car almost exploded. They had the fire brigade, an ambulance. It was like a scene out of the movies. But when that happened, although it wasn't my fault, I think it really made me think about, I wasn't tired or anything like that. I was completely fine. But it really made me think about, why was I having to drive? I'm newly married. Why was I having to drive home at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock again on a normal day? And obviously I'd gone into work for 7. So, and sometimes I was going in at weekends, and I really just thought, this is how it's going to be, And I really felt like how to explain it, the value that I wanted to give to patients, the messages, the way in which I wanted to work, it just wasn't satisfying anymore. It's sort of like, yes, general practice, we do an amazing job, but the way it just become really sort of like, but I'm not, we leave the consultation after 10 minutes, I'm not satisfied, you're not satisfied, because you can't possibly do everything, and then you just have to do all over again. And I just thought, this is just really not good for my mental health and physical health, my marriage, financially, this is all unpaid work that you do, all the extra stuff. And it also, obviously, it just becomes like a downward spiral. So when I was pregnant with my little cheeky monkey, I really thought, I really need to do things differently. I need to do something differently. And I knew it would take some time to unfold. But just on that maternity leave, I think I just got, you're a mother, aren't you? So when you have, childbirth and go through all of those things and sleep deprivation, I think I started to think, what, life is just going to get busier. Life is going to get busier.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, what am I waiting for? Am I waiting for this magical day when I've had like 12 hours sleep? That's going to be a very long time. 12 hours sleep, and I'm sort of, don't have much work. So, it's not going to come unless you do something, right? And it is hard trying to do your job or on mat leave and trying to create something. It is. But I really was determined, like, things just have to be different. Now, I'd always wanted to write a book. And I went through, it was quite challenging on my maternity leave. My little one was ill at birth. He's fine, completely fine now. But at the time, it was quite challenging. I knew motherhood anyway is quite challenging. So I just took all these, it was just mental health habits, mindset, and all these things that I worked on for myself. And I really was able to transform, many aspects of my life. And I basically just wanted to share that with others. And so in the end, I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to write a book. Like, I don't know what I'm waiting for. It doesn't have to be the world's most amazing book. But when I'm on my deathbed, I want to know that I just don't want to have regrets. I want to know that I did it. I ticked it off. So I just did it. I self-published it. And in order to self-publish it, I also had to set up a company. And that's kind of how it started. I got into it. And, I also had to learn a bit about marketing. I was only published it in February, so it's all, new-ish.
New, yeah.
So I had to learn about it. Now I'm learning about marketing and sales and all courses for that, watching your videos, about Facebook. It's a whole different world for me. It's just so interesting. And I've always been a coach, but now I'm doing it much more, doing for private clients as well, outside of the NHS. And it's completely different, because for me, you have my clients, who are the high-end clients who are very motivated. Is completely different. They're very motivated. They are prepared to invest in themselves with time, financially, energy. They are full of, they're so inspiring and motivating themselves, but they just want to kind of just get to that next level. They know that what things holding them back. And it's beautiful to kind of work with them. It's just this beautiful energy. So I'm just really excited to be doing that now with my business, and lots of other things. As you know, as a businesswoman, it evolves, right? You start with one thing and it ends up something completely different as you learn more and more. So that's kind of how I started. It started off as Athena Publishing House Limited, which is the technical name for my company. So I just adjusted it a bit there. So that's the name of the company because I thought, oh, the publishing business, and do it that way. And I still want to do that, but then I got onto all these other things. So I might have to change the name of my company at some point, but I think I've just learned and embraced this, I guess, transformation of my business as well, kind of like it's evolving. And I found that as I'm learning more and more, my mind is opening up more and more. I'm really learning about how, gosh, like when you go through these really challenging times, sometimes it is for a reason, and you're becoming like, it's hard to see at the time, but you are actually becoming a much better version of yourself, Yeah. And then you look back at yourself, 5 years ago and you think, gosh, like, not that I didn't have a clue, but I really, like, actually, I did need to go through that, that kind of journey, or, the car accident and things like that, like, actually, that was great that happened, because that forced me, I basically read all the academic papers on mindfulness and how not to become a victim, because I was determined to not get post-traumatic stress disorder, because my consultant was really convinced it would happen because the accident was so horrific, but I didn't get any injuries. So I was actually going to go back to work the next day. And so I got really interested in psychology and the subconscious mind and mindfulness and affirmations and all of these things, and hence why I'm now translating it into my coaching business. So actually, I was going to say, if it's all right with you, but for your viewers or listeners or both, so I've got my 90-day coaching. It's a personal coaching program, and for your viewers only, for your viewers and listeners, that I will be giving my book as a free gift, because of our connections. That'll be that's over the next kind of 72 hours. And I've got my website, which is www.drvidhya.com. Maybe I'll send you the link.
Yeah, the link. I'm gonna put it down in the comments or somewhere.
Okay.
And if someone is interested to take the program, they can have the book for free. That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
They can get in touch with you. That's amazing.
And I think it'd be a great way, because the book is called Habits, and it's about how to transform your life. It's a 21-day program, and it's how to transform your mind, body, and life. And I specifically start with the chapter on the mind, because the mind is the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
Right. And it's setting the course of the, if it's cloudy with all these self-limiting beliefs and gremlins and negativity and worrying so much about what other people think, then you can't possibly see, it's going to be like the Titanic, you're going to hit an iceberg. But once you clear it and there's clear skies and you can see, right, this is where I want to go, I want to set the course, I set the direction, and then then everything can follow. And actually, getting what we want in life is actually quite simple. It's actually not that hard. But I think as human beings, we naturally have a slightly negative mindset, which was actually from the cave women. We'll talk about cavemen, cave women days, because it was meant to protect us, wasn't it? Because a bear or a lion might come and eat us or something. So naturally, it's set a little bit on the negative side. So we actually had to be more positive to kind of balance it out. And so it's really important that we learn how to get rid of those things. Then we know what direction we're meant to be going in, And then comes the transformation of the body, because we don't want to just be size 8, have a flat stomach, and okay, that's all very nice, but I mean, that's not going to go with us to the grave. I mean, it will go with us to the grave, sorry, but then that's it, isn't it? So it's about that real internal well-being, and so that when we're with my very elderly patients, you don't want to be seeing me, 2-3 times a week for your blood tests, and then we get around other medicines. You don't want that life. You want to be that 100-year-old, 120-year-old we see on Instagram who's just run the marathon, and you see them in Hyde Park on their bike, and they're with their grand and great grandkids, and why can't we have that life? you know. So I think that's what I wanted to do with my book, was very much as a 21-day program. Of course you need to do work after that, you can't just do it in 21 days, but it's a kickstart. Let's just immerse ourselves and get in there. And it's the same thing with my coaching program. It's 90 days, let's just immerse ourselves and get in there. And it's about self-empowerment, you know. So this isn't for people who want someone to tell them what to do forever, like how you have a therapist and they just see them every week. It's not for that. This is for motivated, you know, this is why it's perfect for your ladies, motivated, inspiring go-getters, you know, who really know what they want and maybe just need some guidance, or they are very inspiring, they're very ambitious and at the top of their game, or maybe they're just there but they can't quite break through that glass ceiling, and it might be in their career, or maybe they're like really, you know, they're a warrior queen in their career, but maybe their relationship is kind of falling apart a little bit, or it's just not that great, or difficulty having kids, or things like that. So it's not a medical consultation, obviously, this is coaching.
Yeah.
But that's
It's
why
going to help in different area of your life.
all the different areas of, there's so many different areas of our life, and this is about abundance and prosperity. And prosperity is not just finances, which I do think is important, and money is not the root of all evil, it's what you do with it, but prosperity in love, prosperity in love for yourself and others, prosperity in your friendships, relationships, in your energy, in your connections, like how you and I connected, you know, like that's prosperity. You feel that love, that energy, and imagine if the world had more of that, you know, how amazing would it be, you know? And it's about spreading that message of being, it's not just the money, but it's a spiritual multi-billionaire, you know. So yes, financially, you know, we want that, but
you have to have all the aspects, figure it out somehow.
Why can't we have it all? You know, it's our birthright. And I think it's time for women especially to stop living a compromised life.
Yeah, I totally agree with you here.
Yeah.
It's just about deciding we deserve the life that we dream to have.
Exactly. And sometimes it's a power thing. Sometimes other people have stopped us, but sometimes we maybe let them a bit, because
I think in most of the cases we stop ourselves because we compromise ourselves, or sitting in a place that we think is reasonable but is not exactly what we want.
Exactly.
But you what we want.
I mean, yes, I agree with adapting and acceptance. That's also a part of resilience and life. But there's you have to pick and choose, right? You know, what's right, and you have to have a healthy boundary. So I believe from my work, what I've realized is that if we focus on self-love and self-trust and self-belief, naturally you become more assertive in a compassionate way. But naturally you are, because you believe that, well, sorry, but that's not in my belief system. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Or I'm not sorry, but I can't do the British, so I apologise for everything. But you know, but you know, kind of saying like, well, I can't do that because that's not what I believe in. But I respect your opinion. You know, that sort of thing. But it's very unapologetic. It's very confident. Whereas before, you know, years ago when I was trying to be, you know, assertive and not be a people pleaser, it was almost like I was being a bit angry, you know, because you're so trying not to be a doormat. And actually, it's learning, it's trial and error. I mean, that's okay. And so that's what my program is called, Warrior Queens on the Rise. Because these are ladies who are already so amazing, and they're just looking for, they need that next level of life mastery. And you know, it's about being spiritual as well, with everything talked about, law of attraction, etc. It's not, you know, religious, but it's whatever you call it, universe, God, Swami, whatever you want to call it. But it's having an open mind, an open heart, positive energy. You know, none of this complaining and moaning and looking for, you know, negativity. And you know, if I'm honest, you know, wanting to invest in themselves, because this is a life transformation, which is gonna, you know, it's gonna trigger things off in their life as well. But this is something amazing, you know. So it takes hard work, you know, and I need ladies who are gonna, you know, roll up their
to be ready to invest time and money, but time,
money, and as my exactly, and as one of my colleagues says, you know, strap those tits on and get to work, you know. And it doesn't have to be hard, but you just have to know that there's a plan. I've got to take massive action and really immerse myself, and I can do whatever I want. There's nothing I can't do.
That's amazing. I'm very inspired about the way you speak about your program and about the way you speak about how you can help people. It's really amazing. That means you really believe in it and you really know you can change lives, and it's amazing. And I would like to ask you before we end, what is one advice that you would give to other women entrepreneurs? One thing that can help them to go one step further and they can implement by themselves.
And they can implement. Let me have a think. I would say the biggest advice, the biggest tip is to get out of your own way. So what I mean by that, it sounds a bit rude, isn't it? What I mean by that is I found that when things were just taking a long time to kind of get something to work, or I didn't understand something, often it was just self-limiting beliefs. It was me that was stopping myself. It might have seemed like it was something not working or somebody else or something deemed difficult or something, but actually it was me. And I think it's again coming down to the mindset, those gremlins, you know. And I think the more you focus on yourself, and that's not a selfish thing, because people feel like, oh, but what about others? But what I mean by that is, put it this way, you know, as say as a mother as well, when your cup is full, okay, through self-care, self-love, you're feeling good, you have so much more to give. Okay, if as a doctor I was really burnt out, if I was ill or stressed, I wouldn't really help you very much in that consultation. I might be like, oh, come on, just go. Whereas if you've taken time, you know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, and you've done the things that give you joy and fill your cup, then your cup overflows, it runneth over. So you've got an abundance to give, you know, endlessly, and you, like a mobile phone, it has to be charged. I think that's self-care and getting out of your own ways. That mindset is definitely really important. I'd say that's the biggest thing, is mindset. People think they need to go on some, like I started doing an MBA, my last maternity leave as well, to try and get into business. And I'm still doing it, but I've actually realized that it's not about the best course. It's not about, oh, you need to know sales and marketing, yes, but actually a lot of it is mindset. You know, if I was not very confident, you know, I talked about my program like this, and it's good.
People won't buy.
I think it's a good program. Like, you don't have to buy if you don't want to. It's up to you, you know. And like, if I imagine my patients, they'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I see another doctor.
Exactly. So I love the way that you said this. So go away from your own way. Can you repeat?
Get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way, because sometimes you are the one who stop yourself in doing things because you have some limiting beliefs.
Yes, sometimes you are the obstacle, but you're projecting it on someone else. So, for example, I might say my I don't know, somebody might be really negative about my business or something, you know. And I might be sort of like, oh, really? Come on, do you think that's gonna work? Come on, you're a doctor, okay? We'll just stick to what you know. Now, I could think, oh, well, it's because of that person. God, they're so negative. I mean, gosh, I'm just gonna cut them out of my life. Now, okay, that might be true. Maybe they are, you know, energy drainer, as I talk about. You've got the radiators and you've got energy drainer. We'll do a whole other podcast on that another time. But you've got people who really drain your energy, and you do need to be careful you don't surround yourself with those people. But again, the power thing. Why am I handing my power over to this person? Why? Thank you very much for your opinion. I'm actually quite happy with what I'm doing, but you know, peace out.
So this is how you can actually
pragmatically how you can implement it. Exactly. So it doesn't mean we have to go around being rude to people or anything. But it's just, you know, respect your opinion. Thank you for your opinion. Or yeah, you could be right. You could be wrong. But you know, you could be right. But I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. Feels good. So but
I'm gonna keep going with what I do. Okay, that's amazing. I think a lot of us will benefit from this advice. And I am so happy that we had this conversation today. And let's recap and say again to all the women that will watch us and listen to us, that you have this program and you will give away the book as well. And they can get in touch with you. I'm going to put a link in the comments.
Yes.
So they can get in touch with you just pressing on that link and go to your Facebook page, or depending on what link you are going to send me.
Yes, it's my website.
Your website, okay.
drvidhya.com, and basically when you go to the website, immediately you will see that you can book a call with me. It's a free coaching call for half an hour, and basically it's just to check that it's not to be mean, but it's really just to make sure for myself that you are also the right candidate. It's by application, because some people, they're not really willing to invest in themselves, or
they're not ready and it's not going to work for them. And
fine, they the book, they can watch my videos, and then when they're ready, then
they will come and invest. Okay, that has been amazing, and I'm so happy we've had this conversation.
Yes,
and I'm sure all the women that will listen will be able to get a lot from this.
Great.
If we get what you tell us today and we will implement, I'm sure we will be able to go one step further.
Most definitely. And remember, at the end of the day, it's self-belief. It's deciding. I've decided that I am going further. End of. It's done. It's happening.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you to you as well. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to go and join our You in the Spotlight community, the free Facebook group, where you will meet the other guests and you will meet other women entrepreneurs who are walking on the same path, and you will get more training on how to reach more customers and how to create your advertising strategy. See you there.